The Edit, brought to you by Glam Doll, bringing Hollywood home.
Hello and welcome to The Edit with me, Lisa Cannon. Well, each week we'll be coming to you here from our cosy Glam Doll studios, which brings Hollywood home. Across the series, we've been delving into all things film, fashion and entertainment. Now, in today's show, I'll be chatting exclusively to the Emmy-nominated casting director, Louise Kiely, the woman responsible for the stratospheric rise of Paul Mescal from BBC's phenomenally successful Normal People.
You know, people use that expression overnight success all the time, don't they? Whereas the person who has received the overnight success tends to laugh and go, well, I actually was working for 10 years prior to that and suddenly I'm an overnight success.
Gordon Hayden will be back checking out Dreamland, the new Margot Robbie movie, plus Pixie, the latest offering from Colm Meaney and Alec Baldwin, filmed on location here in Ireland. First up though, with only a few short weeks till Christmas, the streaming channels have certainly upped their festive game. One film that is perfect for all the family on Christmas Day on Disney Plus is the new Pixar animation, Soul, voiced by Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey. Already it has garnered rave reviews, so here's The Edit giving you an exclusive preview of what you can expect from Soul.
Music is all I think about. From the moment I wake up in the morning to the moment I fall asleep at night. I was born to play. It's my reason for living. Hello? What the? Wow! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Help! I'm not done! Holy! Oh my goodness! This weird. The council. There's a soul missing. Is this heaven?
No.
Is it H-E double hockey sticks?
Hell?
Quiet coyotes. No, it's the great before. This is where new souls get their personalities, quirks, and interests before they go to Earth. Here we are.
Wait!
Don't worry, you can't crush a soul here. That's what life on Earth is for.
Whoa! It's my life. Can you help me get back? Come on!
This won't be a disaster, that's for sure.
You're out there somewhere, little soul. And I'm gonna find you. Life is full of possibilities. You just need to know where to look. Don't miss out on the joys of life. Like pizza. I can't smell. We can't taste either?
All that stuff is in your body.
No smell, no taste.
Or touch. See?
Okay, I get it.
Disney and Pixar Soul.
Get ready. Your life is about to start.
Start streaming December 25th.
Oh, looks like another great one from Pixar. And joining me now on the sofa is our film critic, Gordon Hayden. Gordon, you're very welcome to The Edit. Now, I have to say, this is something I'm really looking forward to, because Christmas, you want a classic movie like Home Alone or, I don't know, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Is this set to be a classic, do you think?
Hopefully so. Well, look, Pixar have got a great track record, don't they? And what's interesting about this release is that it's not going into cinemas. This is going straight to Disney Plus. And so this is a first for Pixar. But then again, look, they're in with the Mouse House. So, and Disney Plus there's been a number of films that would have made their way to cinemas have gone now the streaming way. So this is, again, another way for Disney to try and hook people in to Disney Plus.
Of course, yeah.
And of course, coming up to Christmas, this is a brand new movie. So the plot to it is really intriguing, that you have this musician who has a near-death experience. And so while his soul has been disconnected with his body, he comes into contact with an infant soul. And through the friendship with the infant soul in the afterlife, this infant soul, she's a little girl, she tries to help him find his way back to his body. And of course, there'll be lots of life lessons along the way. As he reconnects with his body, he probably reconnects with himself. And this is directed by Pete Docter, who is now the main man at Pixar. He replaced John Lasseter, and for anyone that knows anything about John Lasseter will know exactly why Pete Docter replaced him. But Pete Docter, his previous work includes Up, which was brilliant. I think, you know, when you think of Up, like the beginning of that movie,
so
those first few minutes had people bawling.
Still can't even get me started. And
It was really good, wasn't it? It was really, really good. So he had that, and then he's also gone on. Then he has been so heavily involved in so many of the big Pixar films. He's had a hand in all of it. There's a number of them in there, Pixar, that have had that. So anyway, the thing about Soul is there will be those life lessons, but there'll also be some great humour that go over children's heads and that the parents get. And that's what I love about Pixar, is that they are just absolute master storytellers. Like, outside of the animation, and the animation this is incredible.
Beautiful, yeah.
But it's the storytelling. Like, they are absolute craftsmen. And I that's why I hate to say it, that there's an awful lot of the other animation studios can sometimes come second to Pixar, because they've just got such a huge caliber of talent at work. So anyway, this should be good. Just because it's avoiding cinemas and going straight to streaming does not mean that it in any way is going to affect the quality of it. And I just think as well, if you are a paid subscriber or you're contemplating it, granted at Christmas we start to see, you mentioned Willy Wonka, Home Alone. It's great to revisit those films. We've all kind of seen them. So if you're looking for a new movie on Christmas Day, Pixar Soul, which, you know what I mean, we should bring all the feels.
Sold. To me, that's what I'm watching on Christmas Day. Now, of course, we've got Margot Robbie. Oh, I'm a fan of Margot Robbie. Dreamland, the new offering from her.
Well, Margot Robbie is another person that can do no wrong at the moment, and she is, like, her choices are so eclectic. Like, when we think of what she was doing like last year with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where she played the late Sharon Tate in that film. She's also, by all accounts, Lisa, rumoured to be the lead star in the new reboot of Pirates of the Caribbean. Because obviously with all things that happened with Johnny Depp, they won't be renewing that contract. So, but there has been talk of them wanting to go down a new route with Pirates and set within that universe. And she's been very much earmarked to take on this new pirate role. But anyway, Dreamland, in terms of the plot to this, it's directed by one of the regular Peaky Blinders directors. He has a name which is quite hard to pronounce, so I'm not going to try.
I was going to say, you're going to give it a shot. No.
So, but the plot to it, it's quite a simple one. She is a thief. She is no problem holding people up for their money, and she is on the run after a bank heist. And there's a number of bounty hunters after her because there's a big price on her head. And there is one young man who comes into contact with her, and it's that whole thing of, do I take the bounty or do I hook up with her and help her on her way?
Take the bounty.
If you've seen the film's front cover, it's pretty much, it kind of tells you what happens. Fingers crossed it'll be a good one, a really good one. Another, if that doesn't float your boat and you're a Netflix subscriber, The Christmas Chronicles 2.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes.
I saw the first.
Yeah. Do you know what? The only saving grace of the first film was Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell playing Santa. Like, who would have thought? And like, Kurt Russell's career has definitely, over the last few years, he came out of the wilderness. It just seemed like he'd been on the Hollywood scrap heap. And then, which was ridiculous. I think Kurt Russell is just such a superb actor. And then to cast him as Santa. Now, he's been in loads of others.
I know, yeah.
But Santa, he was great. He was the best thing in it because it was a pretty mediocre movie. Now, it's directed by Chris Columbus, who directed Home Alone. And Chris Columbus also wrote the screenplay for The Goonies and Gremlins. And I have to say, Chris Columbus's career has been on the Hollywood scrap heap. So I would say when
Just be honest,
his agent rang and was like, they want you for Christmas Chronicles 2, I'm sure a few years ago when he was making Home Alone, if that offer came through, he'd tell them to shove it. But now, I could do with the gig. So he's written and directed this. Goldie Hawn's also in it.
She's
as well.
back in it again.
Yeah, which is kind of nice because at the very end of the first film, spoiler alert, but she is revealed as Mrs. Claus.
I thought that was a nice touch.
Which was a nice touch. But I never thought we'd ever see more of her as Mrs. Claus. No. And she is back as Mrs. Claus. So it was the pair of them this time out. And look, they've got great on-screen chemistry anyway as a real-life couple. So it'll be very interesting. I don't know if any of their brood will show up, Wyatt Russell or Kate Hudson. Who knows? If they've any sense, they won't.
Well, it's one to earmark, I suppose, for Christmas. If you're really stuck, maybe. Who knows? Now, of course, we've got an Irish offering as well. Alec Baldwin and Colin Meaney. This is Pixie. Tell me more.
Yeah, Pixie. What a cast in this. You know, we think of that movie Wild Mountain Thyme. That's taken so much focus of, you know, questionable, Irish content when it comes to movies, but this one looks great. So the title character, Pixie, she, like Margot Robbie's character, she's on the run. She's after masterminding a heist, and there are these gangsters in hot pursuit. And so Pixie is a road movie, kind of a chase movie essentially. So she's out of town, she's getting out of Dodge. Before the gangsters get hold of her. But the gangsters are going to make sure they try and catch up with her. So, a chase movie. Alec Baldwin's in there. It's a great cast. Like, it's a huge caliber cast
to get
that's in here.
him as well, to be filming here as well. And I'm sure he loved it because it's all shot in Northern Ireland and the west coast of Ireland, down in Leanon and everything.
Like Colin Meaney's in there, national treasure. Dylan Moran, who hasn't really acted in a while, is a stand-up comedian. He's in there too. So, and he's very choosy when it comes to his role. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Wild Mountain Thyme, no. But I'm looking forward to this one.
Okay, fair enough. Gordon, thank you very much for that. Always a pleasure having you on the sofa. And of course, we'll catch up with you again next week. Now, if Gordon has you intrigued about Pixie, let's take a deeper dive and go behind the scenes and take a look at the film.
I'm going to tell you a little bedtime story. How would you like that?
Pixie!
Ireland is a beautiful country. My father's Irish. It is a place of incredible beauty and calm and wildness.
She's got a plan. I know it.
What, and you think it involves us?
Don't you worry about that.
The landscape is just unbelievable.
It was a backdrop. I really wanted to be a character in the film.
I think we might be getting a little deep here.
The locations have been extraordinary.
And the availability of an incredible variety of landscape within quite a short drive of Belfast was just fantastic and irresistible.
It's really been a thrill to come over here. I've never been to the north of Ireland. I've enjoyed it. Great crew, fantastic crew.
These guns aren't going to shoot themselves.
It's very charming.
I should probably let you know up front that I'm partial to an adventure. I wasn't prepared for how beautiful it is. So rugged and dramatic, that no man's land, great expanse, feeling of anything could happen. It really added to that road trip feel. These sorts of adventures are always more enjoyable with a positive attitude.
Oh, you got a sense of humor. I like that.
We've been on the side of mountains and on the most beautiful beaches. It's been lovely to be here, and it's so nice to be outside.
I'd like to remind the two of you that this isn't a bloody holiday.
The sun came out from underneath the clouds with our three heroes running across, backlit by the sun, and it was the most beautiful shot.
There's a sequence where they're driving towards Linan. Every time I see it, it just bowls me over.
It's been some great occasions. They bring the film to life.
This film is a great Irish film, and I had a great time filming here.
Discovering Northern Ireland was a revelation for me.
However many roads you travel, I hope that you find some way to break the rules and make a little trouble out there.
It's funny, it's moving, they're wonderful characters, most of all, very entertaining.
She is quite something.
Yeah, that she is.
You have this contemporary Western with the girl in the lead set in the west of Ireland. How could you resist that?
Pixie looks great. Can't wait to see it. Now, have you ever dreamed of starring in a major Hollywood film opposite Colin Farrell? Or perhaps practiced your Oscar speech? Or what if, like Paul Mescal, who starred in the hit TV series Normal People, you were unknown in March and on the cover of GQ by December? Well, buckle up and settle in for my interview with the woman who discovered Paul Mescal, Emmy Award-winning casting director Louise Kiely. Now, before we kick it all off, let's remind ourselves of the superb Normal People.
I can't really talk to anybody the way that I talk to you or anything like that. And, I don't really know what to say other than the fact that I missed you, and I really love you, Marianne, and Yeah, I'm sorry.
A clip there from Normal People, the hit TV show that was on the BBC over the summer that had us completely mesmerised by the performances. And the lady who has cast the hit TV series is with me now, Louise. Louise Kiely, how are you?
I'm great. Hi, nice to be here.
Good. You're very welcome to the edit. Now, we love the show, but who didn't love the show? I mean, it was literally the saviour over lockdown, and the figures and the ratings and the success and the, I don't know how you would even call it. It was like a phenomenon, Normal People. I mean, everybody watched it. It's a credit to you and all the team.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a very, very exciting response. And it was genuinely wonderful to be part of something which people took to their hearts, as you say, you know, not just nationally, but internationally, and particularly such an Irish story and an Irish project.
Yeah.
So it was certainly a highlight of lockdown for us.
Not only lockdown, but for me, I went to Trinity College, so I could really see, you know, all the little anecdotes that Lenny Abrahamson had kind of brought together as the director, and then obviously the performances, Paul and Daisy. I mean, really and truly, it captured the heart. There was people having coffees, you know, nudging each other. It became the water cooler moment. You know, did you see last night's episode? And as a casting director, that must be just like you've hit the stratosphere, you know?
Yeah, that was really cool. It's, you know, it was amazing to have found Daisy and Paul, and it was an amazing day when we put them together and we discovered what beautiful chemistry they have, as well as being such immensely talented actors. And then, of course, you know, my job, as I describe it, is it's like at the beginning, it's like a little gate, and then they sort of, the gate, you know, they audition and they do so well, and then, you know, they are taken on this incredible journey, and the actual production is a testament to all of the team and the designers and the actors, and obviously Lenny Abrahamson and Hetty MacDonald, who is the second block director. So my job is just this like one tiny part of it. So to watch it was a delight, because I got to sort of follow their journey the way all the other spectators did and the audiences around the world.
Just sticking with Paul Mescal for a minute, because he recently came out in GQ and said that the phenomenon of success, and I suppose the fame really and truly, is brutal. And I thought, wow, that's a really honest way for an actor to describe a kind of overnight success, for want of a better word. Now, you know Paul, you cast him. What was the experience in getting him on board? Was it in an instant, yes, he's the man we want? And then obviously following that trajectory through, you know, have you been able to advise him, nurture him, nourish him on this explosive journey of fame over the last couple of months?
I mean, I think this, you know, Paul's experience has been, you know, very sort of unusual, because, as you say, it is phenomenal and a phenomenon. And he, you know, people use that expression overnight success all the time, don't they? Whereas the person who has received the overnight success tends to laugh and go, well, I actually was working for 10 years prior to that, and suddenly I'm an overnight success. So when it comes to Paul, you know, he'd done some theatre, and we really liked him, you know, from his stage school, the Lear, or drama school, and then obviously he'd been in some really great plays. But yes, he got a really big part as a very sort of new and young actor, and he's a very smart guy. And as you say, that honest answer is a testament to how clever and how self-aware he actually is. And as regards being supported, I'm not sure I would be the best person to advise, but I know that he's very, I mean, obviously I'm there if, you know, he wants to ask a question, but he's certainly, you know, he has been surrounded by some very clever and very talented, a very talented team who will hopefully guide him. At the end of the day, though, Paul is very emotionally, and, you know, he's very clever and he's very emotionally aware, and I'm I think, I believe, and even since, Normal People, he's made some really clever choices as regards work, and I'm quite sure that will continue.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, he's been Emmy nominated, and we've seen him in The Deceived. I presume that's the one you're talking about. He's due to be in a movie with Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's directing it. So, Paul's career has gone from literally, your casting folder right through to Hollywood in the space of when it was released in April. We're now in December. That's incredible. I don't know many actors that have really shot through the stratosphere like that. But when it comes to actors, I mean, he's kind of, abnormal for normal people, but you do have the steady working actors. And I know you've worked with some Incredibles and found some Incredibles. Like Seána Kerslake, she would be one to me that, has starred in A Hole in the Ground, obviously A Date for Mad Mary. I mean, was she something you looked at her portfolio and said, she's going to be a star? Is that what a casting director does?
I remember the first time I ever met Seána. She was 17 years of age and she came into us for a different film, and she spoke about her family and their love of music, and she was with a drama school at the time near where she grew up, who are just a brilliant drama school, and the young people who come from there are just really, really well supported and just very cool young people. And so what happens is that you'll meet somebody along the way, and if it doesn't work for that job, you remember them, and then you go, oh, hang on a minute, there's this lady. So she was somebody who I just was really impressed by as a person. I found her really interesting. And then, of course, when A Date for Mad Mary came along, I remember at the outset saying to the director and writer team, there's this lady who I just think is really fab. And there's a real... she's quite wise, Seána, as a person, and she auditioned, and that was a long audition process, and she just was. I mean, I thought she was phenomenal in the role, and just has literally gone from strength to strength. She's a really hard-working actor and an incredibly talented person, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we had spoken as well that, you cast lots of movies also with the Irish contingency. As you said, if you don't think they're right for one role, you might remember them for another, which is fantastic. So essentially, Louise, am I right in saying you're an actor's best friend? Everybody wants to know you. Everybody must be trying to bribe you or get in there and say, I'm right for this role. I'm right for this role. I mean, how do you fend that off?
There's a couple of different things in that. Like, most actors in the world, like myself, are working people and work from one job to the next job and buy their houses and then some actors get, I suppose, a very big break and then might, do a sort of larger thing or, and gain a larger profile, I suppose, what we might sort of consider to be. As regards sort of getting in contact with me, I like to think that it's really important that people do get in contact with me, because how else am I going to know? Yeah, 100%. Like, I think it's, we live in a very modern age. Email is very easy and very simple, and it serves me better when people do send me their stuff and do send me, an email with their CV and their clips. And, and luckily I have a team around me. So we have the resources to watch and remember. And if I don't remember you, because I don't remember what I did this morning, I can, one of my team surely will. And because we work in sort of different genres and we do sort of movies and TV series and all the different projects that we work on, luckily, at some point there's hopefully a place where we can get you seen. And I always say, if I sort of come across somebody who's been in touch with me who gets a part, that's great for both of us. Do you know?
Oh, yeah. I know. And Louise, I'm sure you're going to be inundated after this interview with so many actors just vying for your attention. And I know I hear them all the time, kind of unusual auditions that people have to do, or they try and catch your attention in order to get that role. But I mean, let's even cast our minds back to Sarah Greene and Rosie, the Paddy Brannock film. Again, kind of harder hitting roles, but yet you must have faith in the people that you choose. Have you ever had really difficult decisions where you've been like, I love her,
But I think I'm going to take a chance on her.
You know, it's never genuinely about taking a chance. As in, you know, we don't say we're going to take a chance, but it's often about we have 3 or 4 and they're all amazing. How do we make that decision? So what it comes down to is chemistry, collaboration, the overall picture. So for example, an actor might come in and probably will come in because the talent is always there. That sort of goes without saying. We're very lucky that we have access to such talented people. And say, for example, there are 3 people for a lead role and then maybe 3 sort of to play opposite them. We might have a chemistry read. And what happens is for this film at this point in this time, that combination is the best and that for it. But that is setting talent entirely aside. Yeah, so that's what it's about.
Listen, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're a busy lady. You have so many movies to cast. Please God, 2021 is going to be a better year for movies and more production, in fact. But we're so glad to have you here on the Edit today. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
How do we get a few cans, do we?
I can't. I'm supposed to be working tonight. Bringing over these heads from London. Took to look after them.
What is it?
House. Techno, your man's good.
Yeah! Get a bop, get a drop, get a move on!
You what?
Get a bop, a dance, yeah?
Yeah.
Get a drop.
Oh, like... Double drop, get a McHugh!
Get a move on! That's what we used to shout on the bus on the way into the raves.
And Louise's Emmy Award-winning casting of Paul Mescal and Daisy Edgar-Jones can be seen in the Christmas DVD box set of Normal People, currently on sale nationwide. Don't forget to like and subscribe to The Edit. You can catch the show every week on thestyleedit.com and lisacannon.ie. Well, that's it from us here for another week on The Edit in Glam Doll Studios. But coming up on next week's show, we'll be chatting to fashion designer, broadcaster, author and activist and pretty much all-round good guy, Brendan Courtney, about his latest confidence collection for Dunnes Stores. Plus, we'll be checking out Let Him Go, the new offering from Kevin Costner, and we'll be pirouetting into the final week of Christmas with On Point, the new Disney Plus film produced by Ron Howard. We'll be giving you, the Edit viewers, the exclusive first look. So for me, Lisa Cannon, and all of us here on the show, we'll see you again next week. Take care.
The Edit, brought to you by Glam Doll, bringing Hollywood home.